Tesla's first Cybertruck is officially rolled off of the lot. What's going on with the Coinbase versus the SEC case now that Ripple has just won their case? And the last thing that we're going to go over is how did Gary Gensler react to the ruling with the Ripple versus the SEC case? Make sure you guys tune in all the way to the end of this video to find out all the details. Hey guys, this is Ryan with Big Dog Investing. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel. If you guys could do a couple of things for me, if you guys want to like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you guys have not done so already, click the bell notification down below so YouTube can send you guys notifications whenever I release videos. Watch my videos all the way to the end. If you guys could, share my videos and share my channel with anyone. I'm trying to grow my channel as much as I can, and I definitely need your guys' help in doing so. Getting started, today's be Monday, July 17th. The total market cap for all cryptocurrency right now is $1.21 trillion. This is a 0.28% decrease on the day today. Fear and greed index, we are at a 57. We are neutral right now. Bitcoin right now is currently trading at $30,152. Ethereum, $1,912. And XRP right now at 73.91 cents. So I had a nice run up after the lawsuit ended. The lawsuit didn't officially end, but Ripple's XRP token on the secondary market received clarity. So tokens that me and you held, if you guys bought on exchanges, those ones are not considered securities. And that's why we had this nice, we're up 54.74% on the 7-day. Getting to our biggest gainers and losers on the day today, though, Gal is going to be our biggest gainer, up 12.2. Link's going to be up 8.9, and SUI is going to be up 7.3. Biggest losers, Hex, 9.7%, 1 inch, 6.6%, and then Bit's going to be down 5.6%. Getting into our Watcher Guru news, Microsoft wins U.S. court approval to acquire Activision. Courts had to get involved because they didn't want Microsoft to own too much of the gaming market. They said it was okay for this to actually go through. So Overwatch, Diablo, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Candy Crush, StarCraft, and others are all now owned by Microsoft, which has Xbox. Obviously, Microsoft is huge with computers also. So if PlayStation wants any money or access to these games, they're going to have to pay a bunch of money for a subscription to be able to utilize these games on their platform. So obviously, this is a big win for Microsoft and Xbox. If you guys own Xboxes, PlayStation is going to start having to pay up. Bank of America ordered to pay $250 million for charging illegal fees and opening credit card accounts without customers' consents. Obviously, if you guys have been following anything wrong with the banking sector in the last 10 years, you guys know Wells Fargo did this same exact thing. I think it was in 2019 they got caught with it. They ended up having to only pay, I think, $100 million. So this one's a little bit more excessive. But obviously, banks shouldn't be doing this, opening up credit cards, tarnishing people's credit scores. This is a terrible thing. So good. I can see why the government steps in for these ones. U.S. inflation falls to 3%, lower than expectations. Again, how come every single time the reports come out, they're always lower than expected? They keep on saying that, wages are up, true wages are up, even though true wages are technically down. Cost of living has gone up drastically. Obviously, there's something going on here. Former Celsius CEO Alex Minansky has been arrested. He's been charged for illegal offers and sales and a lot of fraud stuff that's been going on. We'll see what happens. Yeah, right here, U.S. Government charges former Celsius CEO with fraud. Europe to launch first spot Bitcoin ETF this month. That was really interesting. Again, everywhere else in the world is succeeding. We talked about this one in the last video, but the U.S. judge rules Ripple's XRP is not a security. So if you guys did not watch my last video, I would highly recommend it. We did talk a lot about the case, and that's strictly what that video was only about. Now, we had a nice green candle right after, source 30% within minutes of the ruling. It ended up going up to 96 cents, depending on which exchange or website you look at. On average, it was roughly about 91 cents was the high. And then we started to retrace. We went back down to, I think, 68 cents. And then right now, back up to 79 and slightly retraced right now back to 73 to 74 cents. Federal Reserve President James Bullard to resign in August. This is kind of interesting to see what's going to happen with our economy and why is he leaving that office position. Gemini Crypto Exchange considers relisting Ripple's XRP. Supposedly they ended up doing that. Coinbase did relist. And it ended up going live. So if you guys want to buy XRP, Uphold's been doing it for countless years now. If you guys want to, you guys can now go back to Coinbase if you guys choose to. I will still be buying mine on Uphold just because they've been the ones that have been supporting the XRP token throughout the years while it got delisted on Coinbase. Australian Securities Exchange receives its first Bitcoin ETF application. Fidelity SEC acknowledges Bitcoin ETF applications from Fidelity and more. Those include Vandeck, Wisdom Tree, Investico, and some others. BlackRock also, and I think we're going to talk about BlackRock officially getting approved according to CoinMarketCap. $9 trillion asset manager BlackRock CEO says crypto will transcend international currencies due to global demand. And a lot of stuff's been going on right now with Tucker Carlson leaving Fox News, joining up with Twitter, and then he supposedly signed some huge, massive seven-figure deal with some company to stay on Twitter, and they'll have the rights to his Twitter's accounts and all the ad revenues and stuff like that. But President candidate Ron DeSantis says that the Federal Reserve wants to get rid of cash and cryptocurrency. We're going to talk on that because it's really interesting to see. Janet Yellen, okay, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says sending billions of dollars to Ukraine is the single best way to boost the economy. I disagree with this highly. That's not the single best thing that we could do. Obviously, she's the Treasury Secretary, and we've sent billions and billions. I think we're almost at a little over $100 billion has been sent to Ukraine. We're sending over a bunch of weapons and stuff like that also. Binance officially integrates Bitcoin's Lightning Network. This did absolutely nothing for Bitcoin's price. Even though it's bullish news for Bitcoin and also Binance, it did nothing with the actual price actions. UAE signs deal with India to settle trade in Indian rupees instead of US dollars. Again, US dollars getting devalued globally as the globe's reserve currency. So it's really sucks that this is happening, especially with the president that we have right now, who's not super strong and doesn't really care about me and you right now, because obviously the American people are hurting. Senator Elizabeth Warren requests SEC investigation into Elon Musk's Tesla over Twitter ties, alleging misappropriating assets and conflicts of interest. Obviously, this is her way of keep on grasping for power and staying in the limelight. She's running for re-election for her Senate position. In my opinion, this is just ridiculous. If they actually really cared, they wouldn't be going after Elon Musk the way that they have been doing and continue to put him down. He's done a lot for uh, the Twitter space. He's done a lot with freedom of speech and everything else. And he's actually shown a lot of the stuff that was being suppressed by the former Twitter owner and also the board of representatives that was at Twitter first. SEC Chair Gary Gensler says he's disappointed the court ruled XRP is not a security, and it was only in the retail sector. He actually did come out and say that they're glad that the SEC ruled specifically on the institutional sales being considered securities. Moving on, though, U.S. President Joe Biden's administration will cancel $39 billion in student loan debt for more than 104,000 borrowers, the Education Department said on Friday. So, they came out with this new plan. Again, he's had every other plan blocked by the courts. This one got pushed through, and then the Department of Education came in and gave it the stamp of approval. Do we agree with this? I don't. I don't think that the taxpayer should be foot the bill for, again, student loans, even though that I would benefit from student loan relief. I'm not technically a part of this. You had to have 20 years worth of payment supposedly, and all those individuals got their debt canceled. That's $39 billion of taxpayer funded stuff getting taken away. And in my opinion, this is just ridiculous. If they actually really wanted to help out your college students, figure out why the cost of tuition is so high. College tuition keeps rising year over year, and obviously the presidents of these universities are making a bunch of money also. Wall Street Silver comes out and says all of those liberals with huge accounts on Twitter who refuse to pay the $8 for Twitter Blue are looking silly now. The payouts for Twitter creators are insane, $5,000 to $20,000 for many. So Twitter's starting to pay for their ad revenue. So if you guys subscribe to Twitter Blue, I don't have that right now, but they're actually getting paid right now through ad revenue. So that's really interesting and nice to see. Now, this is the video that I was talking about of the Cybertruck that rolls off the lot. It's officially driving on its own. I don't really like the look of the truck, but personally, I don't. But obviously, Tesla's going to keep on rolling out their stuff, and it's a huge win for Elon Musk. They actually got the prototype, got a bunch of headlines for breaking the window, and then now they actually have a drivable car or truck. This is ridiculous. This socialist Spanish minister uses a private jet to attend a climate conference. And then 100 meters before she gets into the venue, she hops out of the limo and gets on an electric bike or a regular pedal bike, and then gets ready for the photographers. This is what our elected leaders are doing, and they don't realize that everyone's seeing this because all the cameras are out. So you're in a limo, and then you get out and you hop on a bike, so then you can get the pictures and stuff taken of, oh, look at our super elites, they're actually taking the good way. But obviously they're not, because they took a private jet to get wherever they're going. They took a limo because they can't pedal bike from whatever hotel they're staying at. They decide only when they're close enough, because it would be too hard for them to do it. But they expect me and you to keep doing this stuff. This is what's showing in our economy, and where our world leaders are actually at right now with fossil fuels and stuff. It's do as I say, but not as I do. Farmers in Ireland are protesting against the government's plan to slaughter 200,000 dairy cows to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. 55,000 direct and indirect jobs are threatened. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of protests. They're just going to go slaughter these cows right here who actually get milk because of greenhouse gases. If you guys look up actual greenhouse gases and if it's actually destroying our ecosystem and environments, you'll see that actually trees are protecting us too as well. So in my opinion, this is just ridiculous. Microsoft confirms more than 100 Microsoft confirms more job cuts on top of the 10,000 layoffs announced in January. So even though they just acquired Activision, they're going to cut jobs. And this is really interesting because they signed a 10-year agreement with Sony to keep Call of Duty on the PlayStation platforms. And that's what I was wondering, is why is there going to be more job cuts? Like, why are they going to do this to the American people? Moving on, though, Hollywood grinds to a halt. Movies and shows pause. Fears of AI will replace jobs. Disney, Netflix, Amazon suffer. These are the movies that'll be affected right now. But obviously, there's more that's going to be coming with this. AI with writing strikes, AI using your like and image to create your own digital person, and then they can use that for future movies. We're seeing it right now at concerts. Michael Jackson's um, silhouette has actually been projected to the stage before too. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this. Google Play Store announces and it officially welcomes NFT games, but says developers must follow rules against gambling and glamorizing of earnings. So this is another use case for NFTs. In my opinion, NFTs are complete trash, but a bunch of people like them. You can make some decent money off of them if you come in at the right time. But again, I've shown on my channel, people have bought $1 million NFTs that are selling for $60,000 now. So they're out a crap ton of money. Allbridge IO introduces a cross-chain bridge unlocking interoperability between Stellar, Ethereum, Solana, Celo, and Polygon for seamless asset transfers. Another bullish news for Stellar. Coinbase's shares have increased almost 50% since the SEC filed its case allegedly providing unregistered securities. So if we look at our Coinbase stock for the last, we'll just go 6 months, we can even do 1 month, up 84% on the month, and then the 6 months up 110%, currently trading at $105.55. Obviously, Coinbase is doing really well right now. But this is really interesting. So for those of you guys that absolutely hate Andrew Tate, I'm sorry. But he comes out and talks about a $50 bill and getting rid of dollars for digital currency as a central bank digital currency, not like Bitcoin or XRP or Ethereum, but getting rid of the US dollar or any type of physical payments and only using digital currencies for a central bank. What's going to happen is if I use my $50 bill and I go to, he explains, goes to the barber shop, and then the barber, I pay with him a $50 bill. Then that barber goes to wash his car and uses the $50 bill, and then goes to the whoever owns the car wash, goes to the grocery store and uses that $50 bill. That $50 bill is still worth $50 to whoever it gets transacted to. But if you start using a different payment system like Visa or a central bank digital currency, you have to have an intermediary. And with that intermediary, they're going to take a fee. So sometimes it's 1 to anywhere to 10 to 15%. So your $50 bill gets washed down very quick. And who ends up winning? The banks. And that's why they want this stuff to succeed, especially central bank digital currencies. I'm against those. I like cryptocurrency, but against the central bank digital currencies. Now, Forbes comes out with an article and says critics claim that low profile Prometheum has a license but no business. It is licensed just a facade that allows the SEC to say digital asset exchanges can register. It's an interesting read, and I definitely agree with that. The crypto news from CoinMarketCap. They're the only ones that are talking about this right now, but the SEC has accepted BlackRock's application for spot exchange trade funded ETFs. We'll see what happens and comes out of this if it's officially approved. It doesn't say approved, but it says accepted. Maybe they just took it in. I got to do a little bit more, again, because no one else is talking about it. But Hedera's ecosystem with the HBAR token keeps on succeeding. 14 billion transactions and counting. We're going to get to 15 billion here soon. We're 4 days past this. So I think we can get to 15 billion maybe before the end of the month, hopefully. But Paul Grewal responded. For those of you that don't know, he's the chief legal officer over at Coinbase. Says they have responded to the SEC statement of intent to move to strike Coinbase's defense rooted in the major questions doctrine, abuse of discretion, equitable estoppel, unclean hands, and latches. We look forward to addressing the court tomorrow morning. And then this is when the lawsuit for Ripple ended up happening that next morning. So there wasn't a whole lot that actually came out with that. John Deaton comes out and says the fight doesn't stop just because of a victory. We are fighting for the right to have free choice in financial markets and services. Maybe I don't want to place my money in a bank with fractional reserves. Maybe I've decided that a traditional banking account in today's world carries too much risk. Again, we've seen a lot of bank closures and stuff like that. Shouldn't I have options where to place my funds, or does the government know what's best for me and my family more than I do? If you feel the same way and you're on Coinbase's customers, you may want to consider joining as amicus, like we did with the amicus briefs and the Ripple versus the SEC lawsuit. And they're getting sued right now, especially for their staking protocol, even though they've been doing it for the last 4 years. And they were actually approved to IPO in the United States. Now, Jimmy Valley comes out with this nice chart. If you guys want to get a little more in-depth analysis, he also has a thread talking about what happened with the lawsuit. We've already discussed this in my last video, so I would just highly encourage you guys to go watch it. Now, District Judge Torres, okay, she's the judge that ruled in the Ripple versus the SEC case, has sent it down to the Master Judge Netburn for general pretrial include scheduling, discovery, non-dispositive pretrial motions, and possible settlement. So Netburn's going to be handling the case right now. When it goes to trial, Netburn will probably preside over that as well. But right now, Netburn's going to be the judge to go over any small little things that she can handle on her own. And then she's probably going to talk to Torres if she needs more guidance and stuff like that. But right now, we might see a settlement in the next 6 to 8 weeks. That's a possibility, but it's not a guarantee. We might go to trial. But the only ones that are going to trial right now would be the institutional sales of the XRP token would be going to trial. Everything else was considered clear in the ruling from Judge Torres. So the XRP token is there. Now, Gary Gensler comments, again, if you guys want to watch this official video, it'll be down in the comments. But he comes out and says that they agreed, and he tries to take any win that he can. He tries not to talk a whole lot, but he says, we are glad that the judge ruled that the institutional sales were considered securities. That's what we're fighting for. We disagree with the court's ruling on the retail investors getting their XRP tokens as non-securities, and we're going to keep on evaluating that. And that's what this video is right here. And in this video, there's a much more docile Gary Gensler on crypto. He doesn't want to talk about any of the other litigations. He comes out, this reporter right here comes out and says, what about the other cryptocurrencies that are listed on these exchanges that you've come out and said are securities? And also your lawsuit with Coinbase. And he just says, I can't talk about other pending litigations. We're still going to go over the Ripple ruling. So only time's going to tell what's going to happen. They can also appeal the ruling. It'll be very hard to win that appeal because it gets appealed to Torres, who already took however much time coming up with her ruling. And she also literally blatantly said that the XRP token is not a security and is considered a digital asset currency. So if you guys want to watch this video, I highly encourage you guys to do that. Now, with the Ripple winning this case, there's a lot of promotions and stuff going on coming from scammers. So Ripple says the recent court ruling has sparked a surge in excitement around Ripple. Beware of scam Ripple accounts or fake executive accounts promoting XRP giveaways or XRP airdrops. Remember, Ripple and its executives will never ask you to send funds anywhere. So Ripple, David Schwartz, Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larson, they're never going to be doing a giveaway, and they're not actually going to ask you guys for your guys' XRP tokens. Now, Stuart Alderati says, no questions, absolutely no question. Now, he comes out and says this to Paul Grewal, says, don't be misled that Judge Torres ruled that sometimes XRP is a security and sometimes it isn't. That's exactly the opposite of what she ruled. XRP itself is never a security, and on page 15 it says XRP as a digital token is not in and of itself a contract, transaction, or scheme. Okay, so this is what Gary Gensler is trying to come out and say and trying to sway people's opinions on it. Now, Zach Rector brings up this Bank of America to partner with Ripple for ODL services after the lawsuit ended. So maybe we'll see a spike in use case of the XRP token and an increase of transactions on the ledger if Bank of America actually does follow through with this. Now, for those of you guys that don't know, Rosie Rios, she was the treasurer of the United States. If you guys look at a lot of your guys' $100 bills, if you guys have them, her name is actually on it on the bottom left. Now, she came out and she's actually part of Ripple's she's on Ripple's board, and with this she actually had a bunch of interviews, and she has a famous quote that says that the train has already left the station for digital currencies. Now, after the lawsuit ended, she comes out and says, who is on the train now? Incredible work by the entire Ripple team. Because this was actually a team effort. This wasn't just Brad Garlinghouse against the SEC. It wasn't Stuart Alderati or David Schwartz or Chris Larson or even, just the Ripple team itself. It was everyone, the XRP community that came in for the amicus brief as well. We all were a part of this. Obviously, some people did a lot more, especially Stuart Alderati. He has a huge fan base, and he's done a whole lot for Ripple, and he needs to be treated as such. And in my opinion, he did very well with the case, and without him, and especially without Torres, the judge, we needed to get that judge for this case to go through. They did very well together, and in my opinion, this was a great win. Now, Zach Rector says, if you missed the epic post victory interview with Brad Garlinghouse, you guys can watch it here. He recorded it. He put it on his YouTube channel. But Brad Garlinghouse joined a Twitter space, and that was there. And the last thing, if you guys don't know, Jeremy Hogan, he has a channel, Legal Briefs. But this is his last video. It says, Ripple versus the SEC. Congratulations, XRP holders, from Jeremy and Thien V. Hogan, and goodbye. This was a sad farewell, but also a happy time because now we've officially have clarity on our XRP tokens. Put down in the comments if there's anything else you guys want me to go over. Thank you guys for tuning into my video. And if you guys can invest with the big dog, stay on the porch. Thank you guys and have a good one.